Kia ora. Hola a todos. Hello, everybody. Thanks for being with us today in our second panel discussion called Digital Collabs. Today with us, two amazing female street artists that are part of Here and Out. Gina Kiel here with me in the studio, and Gleo in Cali, Colombia. Hi, Gleo. Hi, Gina. Thank you for being with us today. This project, Here and Out, is an exhibition and a mini festival that features the work of 9 female street artists from 5 different countries during the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak. The main idea of this project is to create meaningful connections that can go farther than the physical space of the gallery and travel all around the world. So today we are here with Gina Kiel and Gleo, and we're going to talk about a lot of different things that happened during the process of Here and Out, like an amazing digital collab that they create together from here, New Zealand, Wellington, and Cali, Colombia, through internet, basically. And after that, we projected that illustration in a massive building in Cuba Street. All of that as part of the public art program component of Here and Out. This exhibition that is here in Toi Poneke Gallery until the 22nd of April. Welcome, everybody, to our second panel discussion. Welcome, Gina. Welcome, Natalia. And with us, excuse me, I almost forgot to mention that today with us is Maribel that will help us translate in the conversation with Gleo from Colombia.
Kia ora and hola.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Gina.
Thank you.
How are you doing today? Can you please tell, a lot of people know who Gina Kiel is here in Wellington. She's one of the Dream Girls collective. She's an amazing street artist, a muralist that had traveled a lot, leaving her murals in different countries like Mexico, like Australia. Her work is all over Wellington, so it's an honor to have you with us today. And yeah, Gina will share with us her experience and also the experience behind her work in Here and Out, for Here and Out.
Thank you, Mide. Thank you, Maribel. Hola, Gleo. It's
Hola.
to be here and with you. It's been an amazing experience, this project, connecting with many people, locally and internationally, female artists that I admire so much. I'm such a fan. I try to be cool about it, but really I'm such a fangirl of all these artists. I'm like, yes, it's fine. And yeah, it's been amazing creating this community, even though we cannot be together in person.
And tell us about your work, like since when did you start painting murals and how? And yeah, tell us about that.
I started painting murals maybe about 7-8 years ago. It started pretty organically just from painting a little something on a wall inside a studio or something like that, and then I had a exhibition and I got a request to paint a mural outdoors on the street, and pretty much from there it grew and grew, and I became, started painting more and more and discovered that I really love it so much. Painting large scale is really fun, and also being in the street and in the public, and it's a really interactive environment where you can talk to people and create something for them. And I love it.
And you've been part of a lot of different street art festivals in New Zealand and in different countries as well. I think the B-roll is playing now, maybe Whanganui walls. Can you tell us about your experience behind painting these massive murals around the country?
One of my favourite things to do is paint at festivals because of, meeting the artists and going to a new town. And Whanganui was a really cool experience because that's where my mother grew up. So when that project came up, I was super excited to go and spend some time there creating art, and we even visited the house my mum grew up in. And so it was a really special project for me. And all the crew at Whanganui Walls, Sai and everyone are super amazing. So it was a real honour to paint there.
Amazing.
Yeah, and that piece was pretty weird and abstract, I think. I spent a little bit of time, with a bit of an idea of what I was going to paint, but also with that one I just improvised as well because, the wall was really long shape and, it just happened that way. And so it was fun to talk to people during that project who came and talked to me, or I saw them, heard them talking to each other when I was painting. And so my kind of description of the piece, since it was pretty abstract, my description was made up of all the interpretations that other people had, thought that may be what it meant. So I kind of made like a poem of everything that they had said and how all amazingly, everything everybody said is exactly felt right. Like, it was like, yes, it totally means that and that and that. And yeah, so that was a fun project to get pretty weird and, in a special place like that. Yeah.
And I suppose that's one of the most interesting things about painting in the streets. And well, New Zealand is your country, your hometown, but how was the experience doing that in a completely different place like Mexico, for example? How did you interact with people in, I think it was SeaWorld in Mexico?
Yeah, that's right, yeah, in Cozumel, a little island in the Caribbean area. That was incredible too, so much fun. The people are so beautiful and I love Mexico so much. My partner is from Mexico, so that is also another very special place to me. I feel like it's another home. We've been there many times together, and the Seawalls was my first time going by myself to Mexico, and that was really fun. And again, with an amazing team of people, Seawalls and everyone who works on those projects, all the crew who do all the heavy hard work and behind the scenes, So grateful to them. And it was amazing painting there, and everybody I met while painting made great connections, and it was awesome.
Thank you, Gina.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, now with us is also one of my favorite female street artists, actually, and a great
Me
friend.
too.
Natalia Gallegos from Cali, Colombia, aka Gleo. She, in 2018, painted the biggest acrylic mural in the world in the United States. Welcome, Natalia. Welcome, Gleo. Thanks for being today with us. Muchas gracias por estar aquí hoy día con nosotros, Natalia. Bienvenida.
Hello, hola, and thank you for this space. Gracias por esta invitación, en realidad. Muy feliz de poder ser parte y sobre todo como muy feliz de poder ser parte de esta colectividad que hemos estado creando a la distancia.
Thank you for letting me be part of this. I've been really enjoying it, and even though I've been quite, far away.
Cuéntanos, Gleo, cuéntanos, Natalia, ¿cómo ha sido tu experiencia pintando murales y cómo empezaste a pintar murales en el mundo? Cuéntanos tu trayectoria. Please, Natalia, can you tell us more about your career and your experience living amazing, massive murals around the world? How did you start doing that?
Okay. Llevo 12 años pintando murales. En realidad empezó como un sueño de querer pintar y poder conquistar las calles.
It's been 12 years since I've been painting, and in reality it started as a dream about wanting to paint on the streets.
Sí. Empecé a pintar en las calles, empecé a crear amistades, empecé a entender como que es un mundo en el que puedes crear muchas conexiones y nuevas como dinámicas como sociales.
I started making friends and I started making connections on the streets, and it's a place where you can make a lot of kind of social dynamics.
Y mi curiosidad creció para querer realmente conocer más cómo son las calles en todo el mundo, ¿no? Cómo realmente se puede habitar la calle desde mi ser mujer.
So it's about her curiosity grew and thought, well, I wonder what streets are like all over the world, and what do streets look like, and especially from me being a female wahine. Yeah.
Y mientras esa curiosidad crecía en mí, también empezó a llegar grandes proyectos que me invitaban a poder como expresar esa curiosidad.
As that curiosity grew in me, a lot of people also, I suppose, got curious about me, and I got a lot of possibilities, a lot of invitations to participate in a lot of art.
Es bien bonito porque es como poder reconocerme a través de cada muro, y cada proyecto así que ha sido más grande es como que hasta este momento lo que define que es Gleo.
It's really good. It's really nice. It's a beautiful process because every mural that I do, I get to know myself a bit more, and so the bigger they are, I suppose I get to know a bit more about myself.
He viajado por diferentes países en Estados Unidos, en Latinoamérica y Europa, y he tenido la oportunidad de pintar en grandes formatos.
I've travelled throughout the United States, Latin America and Europe, and I've had a lot of opportunity to paint in different formats in different places.
En grandes formatos.
Big,
¿Quieres decir eso? Grandes formatos.
In big formats, yeah.
Muchas gracias. Porque es importante, porque es poder como realmente representar la capacidad de lo que somos en el mundo, y que no nos limiten a través de estereotipos y prejuicios que ya se están quedando en el siglo pasado.
So it's an opportunity, these big formats, it's good to be able to paint and get rid of the, I suppose, the judgment and things that are in the past now.
Y por eso en este momento es como gracias, porque participar en este espacio como Here and Out es poder conquistar justamente los espacios que a veces cedemos y que se nos es negado. Hemos aprendido a que tenemos que construirlos por nuestras propias manos.
And so, in saying that, you know, thank you for being in Here and Out, because it's another way of being able to express yourself, and with what's been happening, like we have to actually do it ourselves, you know, make this space for ourselves.
Entonces, para mí pintar en la calle es como este proyecto, tomarnos de la mano y darle la bienvenida a cualquier diversidad y a la minoría.
And so for us, for me, it's like painting on the street is like holding each other's hands and saying, I suppose, welcome, and welcome, and we're here just as we are.
Y para que puedan ver más mi trabajo, pueden buscarlo en las redes y puedan darse cuenta más como de otros procesos. Eso sería lindo, porque pienso que me gusta más hablar del concepto que de lo que ya he hecho, que es un registro que puede encontrarse en el internet.
So, and if you want to see what kind of formats and what style and art I've done, you can find me on the socials, but in the internet. And so I like to talk more about the concepts instead of what I've already done.
Ya, yo creo.
Yeah.
Gracias, Natalia.
No,
Thank you very
ti.
much.
Thank you. I'm a fangirl too.
Maribel here is a teacher, and she was telling me that she wants to bring all her students at the school to see this exhibition, because she's original from Chile, and she's been teaching the kids about the arts from you, from Paula, from Meki, that are the South American representatives of this exhibition. So thank you, Maribel.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you, beautiful.
And Natalia and Gleo, you have painted massive buildings in Sao Paulo. So for that kind of projects, for that kind of big scale, huge scale murals, it must be like a really physical work. I mean, it is a big mural, it's a big physical work, but I would like to ask a little bit more about what's behind to paint such a big scale mural for you and for your team. Like how many people are in your working with you in your team so you can achieve these huge goals?
Ok. Comprendí la pregunta, tranquila, gracias.
I was like, mira, did it stop? Or pause.
En realidad es como cuando sales a pintar a la calle, primero sales por un motivo personal. Un motivo personal que se conecta con cosas, con muchas personas y se vuelve una colectividad.
So when you go out on the street at first, you go with like a personal motivation, I guess. You go, you know, personally, and then as you go out, you become a collective.
Cuando empecé a pintar en la calle, era un sueño para mí realmente pintar grande. Y cuando entré en esa oportunidad de pintar grande, entendí que no era algo que se podía hacer solo.
So when I first wanted to go out, I had this dream of going big. And then when I did go big, I realized that we can't do it alone, you know. It's not a job for one person.
Yes, es un trabajo muy exigente en el que se logra porque muchas personas se unen detrás desde la producción, desde la asistencia, desde la gestión, para que ese sueño se logre, que es el muro a gran formato.
So it's a very demanding job, and so it becomes you need to have certain people in different areas of the team. Sorry, I didn't get that. It was
she spoke about the production,
the management, and la gestión.
Management.
Management, yeah.
Yeah. Entonces, por ejemplo, cuando pinté el muro de Estados Unidos, fue un muro de 3 meses realizado por 5 personas.
So when I painted the mural in the US, it was 3 months and it took 5 people.
3 months.
5 personas pintando tiempo completo y otras 5 personas detrás de la producción.
So
Creo que es importante. Dale.
5 people painting full time for 3 months, and then 5 people behind those 5 people as part of the production.
Y pienso que es muy importante porque aunque fueron 10 personas tiempo completo en un proyecto, este proyecto se pudo concluir porque toda la comunidad se integró al proyecto, donando de cualquier manera para que se fuera posible.
So even though there were 10 people working full time, there was a whole community behind it, donating time, I suppose, and donating other things for the project to be able to be completed.
Y esto es un ejemplo de que el muro invita a la comunidad a hablar, invita a la comunidad a integrarse, invita a la comunidad a generar conversaciones como las de este tipo.
And so that way the mural invites the community to talk, to be together, and to finish the project, or there's the vision.
Uh-huh. Entonces, como que detrás de todo este tipo de proyectos, realmente creo que me gusta resaltar y pues usar siempre los espacios para agradecer, porque es proyectos que surgen por sueños colectivos.
And that's why I like to, I suppose, do these murals to thank the community, because it's because of the community that we get it done. Yeah.
Y a mí me dan la oportunidad de ser la parte creativa, esa es la parte divertida.
And I'm the creativity, and that's my role.
That's the fun part.
That's the fun part. La parte difícil.
Thanks, Gleo. What you're saying is so true, and we've been watching that here, like in Here and Out, because we wanted to bring your artwork, the artwork of Paula, the artwork of Meki, the physical pieces from South America. And in order to achieve that, we needed, during COVID times, we needed to bring them from using DHL Express. So imagine how much funding we need to do that. And we got it because the community helped us. We did a bunch of events, we did a bunch of parties to invite the community, and they owned the project at the point that they really want to bring the artworks of their countries to New Zealand. So people here in New Zealand could see what comes from our countries. And that was something really magical. Maribel was part of that process as well. She helped us a lot behind the scenes, making these fundraising events. We made a Peruvian food event to fundraise some money. And yeah, the community has been a really key part of this project in order to happen and to have this amazing exhibition right next door until the 22nd of April here in Toi Poneke Gallery. So yeah, what do you...
Nice.
Yeah, so it's really true. Like this kind of projects happens with the help of the community. But now I want to ask Gina, how was the experience of designing something from the very beginning, from the scratch with Gleo, all the way in Colombia through basically how long it took. And for those that haven't seen it yet, this is the illustration that they created together in two different sides of the world at the same time, using technology and all, and communication and connection.
Well, it was a lot of fun, of course, because again, I look up to Gleo a lot. I'm such a fan of her work and so amazed and inspired by her. And also we actually met in Mexico. So that was really special to have already met in person as well, being so far away, but having met and then to collaborate, knowing that we also have met in person was pretty cool. So we knew each other a little bit, and yeah, it was really fun. It was surprising, well, not surprisingly, but it was so easy because I fully 100% trust everything she said or did. And so, we basically started by doing some really rough sketches of different ways in which our work could combine together. So it was a really interesting process to think about that, how my work could combine with Gleo and Natalia's work, and likewise for her, to create sketches with those combinations. So we did that, and then we sort of all just decided what composition to go for, and that was the beginning. And then we added colour to that, and I feel like Gleo really brought her beautiful colour palette in there, which was really exciting for me to work with a different colour palette, and how that can change the design, and that was really cool. Many things were great, and it went so smoothly, and I love what we made together, and I hope one day we can collaborate in person, maybe paint a wall one day somewhere in the world.
It would be really cool if someday you paint this on a wall. Imagine that. Because we had such a cool time projecting this on a 4-story building in Cuba Street the other night, a week ago actually. Yeah. So, Gleo, how was for you this experience of collaborating with Gina?
It's so fun. Fue muy divertido para mí en realidad porque es como si hubiera habido una sincronía, ¿no? Es como no tuvimos que conversar mucho más que dibujar y confiar la una en la otra.
There was like a synchronicity. It's like you just had to trust each other and just draw.
Yeah. Y aparte fue para mí fue como muy inspirador poder compartir como una experiencia con Gina, porque siempre he admirado su gráfica y siempre he admirado toda la manera como lo hace, y por primera vez tener la oportunidad como entrar en su universo, ¿no? Como explorar un poco con su universo, fue como wow.
It was good to be able to explore a little bit of Gina's universe and be like, wow, that was really amazing.
Yeah. Y pienso que es como, me encanta porque es como si fuéramos dos neuronas del mismo cerebro y hubiéramos creado algo. Y ya.
It was like we're two neurons in the same brain to create something, yeah.
Para mí fue muy agradable y un aprendizaje muy lindo realmente.
It was a beautiful learning piece, like thing.
Thank you, Gina. Sí, de verdad.
And it also was really interesting to see how the actual graphic built it? Is that it? Because it started with you, Natalia, proposing one composition that that Gina used to do in her work, like the two black and white faces, you know, and then Eugenia suggests that Gleo can do like a. So you both knew a little bit of each other's work, and then you each proposed something of his work. So how was Gina the experience of doing that? Like the actual. I'm sorry. Of course, the actual graphics designing. Thank you both.
Yeah, it was really cool. To also use a different technology for me. I don't usually use Procreate as much for that process, so it was really cool to experience that, and Gleo's more experienced with that, so she had advice and was able to see how she creates a little bit and learn about her process, and maybe likewise for her, and so that was cool. And yeah, I feel like there's many layers to this experience, because it's like there's the technology, and then there's the creativity, and then there's the digital work and the projection, and then maybe one day we collaborate in real life, you know? So it's like many layers to the experience, to the collaboration, which is really cool. And yeah, again, like seeing how Gleo works, and you know, receiving a file with the lines that she's drawn and being like, wow, you know? Yeah, it was really cool. And we just sent this file back and forth and added a little bit of detail and then sent back, and she would add a little bit of detail. And every time I receive it, I'm like, wow, that's so cool. I never would have thought of doing that, you know? So yeah, it was really fun.
Thank you. And Natalia, for those that are watching us, para aquellos que nos están mirando, so this process, how do these processes start usually for you when you design an illustration or a mural? Because you need to know first the building, so the canvas, right? You need to know the proportions, the size, the format of it to start designing it. So can you please tell everyone that is watching, if they want to do something like this, how can they do it? Like, what's the technique behind it, or at least the key things to know?
Claro. Cuando empecé como que a poder como usar herramientas para poder ayudarme con las proporciones y con las ilustraciones y con todos estos temas, pues llegó el iPad y el Procreate a mi vida, literal.
When I started doing this stuff, there were tools that you needed to know about proportions and all that, and then the iPad came.
The Procreate.
And the Procreate.
Sí, entonces es interesante porque es una herramienta que todavía, o sea, se acerca un poco más a lo análogo, al poder dibujar sobre la pantalla y poder generar como texturas y ciertos trazos y ciertos, como que tiene una sensibilidad hacia lo análogo que no tienen pues otras herramientas tecnológicas.
So it has a lot of tools that help you do the kind of, is it the thickness and the textures and all that, and so it becomes it's a helpful tool.
Yeah, it's like
Sí.
Procreate is the most similar to analogic tools that she could find because you can actually draw and imitate the textures and the thickness of the lines and all of that.
Sí. Entonces, antes, por ejemplo, recordaba mucho que teníamos como una lámina de acetato en la que dibujábamos el dibujo y nos ubicamos en el mismo sitio y así cuadrábamos la proporción del gran formato, de lo que estuviéramos dibujando grande.
So I suppose they had square parts of it, and she could focus on the areas, and then so it was I suppose magnified, and then
Yeah, she's explaining like the previous way how she did the design for the mural before she used Procreate. So she used to have these like thin films of ¿cómo es el material?
Como acetato, sí, es como un papel transparente, pero era más.
So it's like a laminate,
yeah, like
tracing paper.
Yeah, so she used to design on that and then try to mix that film, that paper, with the building so she can understand the proportion of what she was drawing in the paper and see it on the big building, you know? That's,
so technology
es como,
and paper and everything combined.
No, o sea, primero fue este papel y después, o sea, justamente esto es muy tedioso porque pues tienes que tener el papel, tienes que bajar, tienes que cuadrar y tal.
It's very tedious, that was the paper first.
Es todo ese proceso análogo que se traduce ahorita a lo que es Procreate. Entonces Procreate lo que hizo fue simplemente acelerar el proceso que ya existía en varias personas del que pintaban en el muro. Entonces eso es lo interesante, que es una herramienta que ayuda a hacer el mismo proceso que acabo de explicar del acetato, pero un poco más rápido. Y eso es lo que hemos usado en este momento Gina y yo, como una herramienta, una tecnología que nos ayuda como a hacer un poco más, como acercarnos un poco más rápido a las ejecuciones de los grandes formatos o a la comunicación a distancia, como lo estamos haciendo ahorita.
Okay, so, okay. And so it was through this kind of tracing paper. It's very tedious, but also it's what they're doing to get the image right and working together was a tedious process.
Yeah, she was explaining the process before Procreate came out.
Procreate.
So that was it.
And it made it easier.
Exactly, because it's like a new technology that replaces this old
technology.
Yeah, like with the paper and everything, and that's how they can actually create together using this Procreate tool.
Procreate tool.
Yeah, that's
which is what you were using. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so
Just
much.
Was like,
no, gracias, me extendí así brutalmente.
She was like, sorry, I said too much quickly, and I was like, oh. It's good, it's the passion. Absolutely.
And also another cool thing about Procreate is that it records the screen while you're working. So it was really useful at when we did the animation to project your illustration on that building, because we could actually see while you were drawing. And how was that for you? Because we were talking about that during the projection that on last Saturday night.
Yeah, that was really cool too. It was like watching Gleo draw while she was drawing up on the building. Yeah, so it was really cool to see that, and I only realized that as well when I saw that projection. I realized many things about seeing. It's like I'm watching her drawing, even though she's in Colombia, and that was really fun and cool. And yeah, there were other kind of details that I noticed, like the fact that she created this background, which I didn't think of, you know. She created this awesome kind of pattern background, like a frame around the design, which then allowed me to draw some little patterns in there, which I don't normally do in my work, but I always appreciate other people creating those, you know, details. And she chose to create that, which allowed me to try something different. So it was really cool to collaborate in that way too. And yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember last week while Gina was watching the mural, she was like, oh, that's how she, like following the trace, the lines and everything. That was really, really cool. And also another important thing to mention is that, so for you as a street artist, I suppose you are, you design something about the space you are going to paint. I suppose like it needs to be aligned at some point, or is that how it works? Because this building, it's on the middle of Cuba Street, so there's a lot of Art Deco style on the architecture of this Cuba Street. So does it have something to do with the fact that you design all these patterns and like?
Maybe, and I think maybe Gleo was inspired by that because that kind of Art Deco, Art Nouveau frame was her idea, and she created that. And so maybe we should ask her that. Maybe she knows, or maybe it was a a coincidence or a meant to be, something that happened that worked perfect.
¿Fue a propósito o fue casualidad el Art Deco en el?
Digamos que es una coincidencia.
Oh, ¿en serio?
Sí, sí, porque ya últimamente estoy sacando marcos en las imágenes y como en los diseños, y cuando ya teníamos el diseño listo, fue como, creo que le falta un marco. O sea, solo lo veía y decía, creo que le falta un marco, y pues bueno, buscando referencias de marcos, la mayoría siempre son Art Nouveau, ¿no? Los más bellos.
So she's been doing borders around her art, and so she was like, yeah, she was like, I think there's another border. I need to do another border. I need to do another frame. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's how she designed the kind of Art Nouveau style frame for this image, which is also a really interesting coincidence because the architecture on Cuba Street is mainly like Art Nouveau and Art Deco. So it was like just
It was meant to be.
Yeah. It was meant exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
And now speaking a little bit more about here and now and your participation in this project individually, and well, Gina, you with Dream Girls as well, because you have a big / small mural in the gallery, and 3 different individual pieces with Dream Girls, with you, Zoe, and Miriam Grace Smith. So can you tell us what are those pieces about, please?
Yeah, so myself and Miriam Grace Smith and Zoe Hall, we have a little collective together. We call ourselves Dream Girls Art Collective, and we collaborate a lot. We've been together maybe 1 to 2 years now, but friends for many more years than that. And so we collaborate quite often. And we created a mini mural for the gallery, and this one we went about sort of like we each created a part, and this time, because it's not a mural, usually we are working in the same space, on the wall together at the same time, but this was different. We were able to take the panel to our different studios and actually create them, our parts, at separate times. So it was a new way for us to collaborate. It was something new that we hadn't done. So that was fun. And so Zoe created some parts of hers first, and then Miri and I saw that, and we're like, wow, that's so cool. We will do this to go with that. And then Miri created her part, and then I created mine, and kind of brought everything together in the end. And yeah, it's our piece. We do a lot of kind of kaitiaki or guardian artworks, usually like female wahine guardian, beings. And this is one of those. She's a protector. Her body language is, in a protective position. She's she's pretty powerful and cool, and we just wanted to vibe off the theme of the exhibition, and so that was our piece. And then we also created solo paintings as well, which is fun as well to create the solo paintings and see them side by side together with the collaboration, because you can see how the different aspects of each combines together. It's sort of like a really interesting visual experience for us even, just to be like, wow, that's our individual art, and then this is how it comes together. Because that's another thing we have not done before either, you know. When we collaborate usually for mural art, it's just the collaboration. We don't see our individual work standing alone alongside that. So that was cool. And my piece was something that I actually designed during the lockdown. So I thought that would be appropriate considering the theme of the show and the idea around the show being how we, create this project during these COVID times. And so, yeah, that piece was a feeling of kind of overwhelm. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot coming, the figure has a lot coming out, and there's a lot going on, and it's all happening all at once. But it's also about letting go. So it's letting go as well. And yeah, in a nutshell, that's what those pieces are about. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, now that you mentioned, I can totally see that. That's so cool with all the flowing.
Yeah.
It's
a lot. Like, sometimes I have to look away. I'm like, whoa. The colors are like. So, yeah.
And what about you, Nati? What about you, Natalia? What's your piece about? How was? Well, I think it would be nice if you share with us how was your process during COVID times. Wait, Twain. Okay, cool.
Bueno, esta pieza la empecé a realizar hace un año ya, la que está exhibida ahí.
So she's been started the piece about a year ago, the one that's in the exhibition.
Sí. Y en realidad para mí fue como bien especial porque desde que empezó todo este tipo de pandemia, pues siempre tuve la oportunidad de ir a visitar a mis amigos a cualquier parte donde estuvieran en el mundo, ¿no? Había una libertad, por decir así.
So she said it was, for her, she felt kind of like a liberty because she's always been able to visit her friends around the world, during this pandemic.
Y desde la pandemia, pues, es un poco más difícil, ¿no? Y complejo realizar estos movimientos. Y poder visitar a mis amigos ha sido como un poco más difícil.
Sorry, now during the pandemic, it's been a bit harder. Before the pandemic, she could go visit her friends, but now it's a bit more difficult to be able to go and see her friends around the world.
Y normalmente he encontrado que cuando todas mis pinturas, tanto murales como cuadros, casi siempre son dedicatorias o recuerdos a mis amigos.
And she's realised that a lot of her murals, a lot of her artwork have been like dedicated to friends or memorials to friends.
Entonces cuando Mire me invitó a esta exposición en Nueva Zelanda, pensé que lo mejor que podía hacer era hacer una memoria a una buena amiga australiana que tengo yo, y de hecho es amiga de Gina.
And so she said when Mire invited her to be part of Here and Out, she thought, she's going to do her piece about a good friend that you already who's Australian.
Sí, se llama Cass. Su nombre es Cass. Casilda. Entonces me pareció lindo como poder, ¿sabes? Poder enviarle un mensajito. Eso era lo que pensé cuando pinté esa pieza. Que ojalá ella pudiera tener la oportunidad de verla y enviarle un mensajito.
She thought it would be really nice to be able to do this piece and send her a beautiful little message by this piece.
Y esto es y esta pieza por eso se llama Inner Love, como realmente me he dado cuenta que somos como planticas y de sus amigos nos regala mucha agua y nos da nutrientes. Y ella ha sido una amiga que me ha cuidado y me ha ayudado a crecer mucho.
And so this piece is she's realized that friendship or people are like plants, and you need your nutrients and they give you water, and that's how the plant survives, and that's how this piece has come about, and dedicated.
Y cuando estás a la distancia, pensé que esta era la mejor manera de mandar como un abrazo, por decir así, ¿no?
And being so far away, this was like the best way to give her a hug. Give each other a hug.
Yeah. Eso es lo que hay detrás de esa pieza.
And that's what's behind the piece.
And well, that's so powerful and so beautiful, because it's also about connection, like this whole project is about. Now we are connected from different parts of the world at the same time, and friendship is that as well, and that can those things manifested in physical things, like that amazing piece that is in the gallery. Thank you for sharing that with us. And can you also share how was the process of actually painting it? Like when, if you want to share that with us.
Fue un poco una locura porque es la pieza más grande que he pintado en mi estudio.
So she said it was a bit crazy because it's a bit bigger than what it was in her studio.
It's the biggest piece you ever painted.
It's the biggest piece she's ever painted.
Entonces, pues bueno, nada, fue como un proceso de literal pintar un mural. O sea, realmente lo tomé así como un proceso de pintar un mural y prepararlo como si fuera un muro e intentar pensarlo en esa dimensión.
And so in reality she said, she did the whole thing of like thinking it was a mural, and the whole process was as if it was a mural.
Pero se volvió un poco loco el proceso porque pues no es un muro, es un lienzo grande. Entonces fue como una invitación a explorar demasiado, como tenía mucho espacio para explorar.
And so she said it was a little bit crazy because it's not a mural, it's an actual, it's on a canvas, small portrait, yeah. And so she said, so she had to go discover other things, and there was a lot of space to kind of paint.
Entonces estuve pintándolo por 1 mes y medio, creo.
She was painting it for a month and a half.
Ajá. Y en realidad estuve conviviendo con él porque el único espacio donde podíamos estirarlo era al frente del espacio donde tengo mi cama, que es un cuarto grande.
She said the only space, she was like, it was like living with him, because the only place she could put it out was next to her bed. Yeah, on the space in her bedroom.
Entonces fue un año prácticamente en el que convivía con él 24/7.
She was like, I was living with him for 24/7.
Yeah.
Amazing. And do you know if has Cass seen the artwork already? She already saw it?
Sí, yo antes de ser publicada y de enviártelo, de hecho, yo le envié unas fotos y le dije y le conté. Y la verdad es que sí, ha sido bien especial. O sea, lástima que en este momento esté como complejo poder ir a Nueva Zelanda, porque ella sí lo había planeado en algún momento poder ir. Entonces ha sido lindo.
She sent it to Cass before she sent it to New Zealand. She said it's been a really nice process to be able to do that, and it's so unfortunate that at this moment you can't travel, because Cass really wanted to come out here and have a look at it.
Wow, there's so many things to talk about behind the amazing artworks that you made for this exhibition. Thank you so much. For us as Mango Collective, Wolf and Antonio that are behind the scenes right here with us, it's been really, really interesting to actually bring the artworks physically to New Zealand. That was another layer of this project that most of you don't know, but we've been working on that as well with Gleo, bringing her artwork from Colombia. And that was another experience really funny, because like the artwork literally traveled from all over the world before it came to New Zealand. It went to Miami, it went to Los Angeles, it went to, I think, Mexico. So it was funny because we wanted to invite Gleo to paint here, and she couldn't come, but her artwork has been traveling a lot, and it's here now.
Sí, es un poco gracioso en realidad toda la experiencia con esta pieza. Ya la pieza tiene mucha historia, de hecho creo.
She said it's really funny how this piece, the piece has its own history already.
Sí, además también hay un punto extra. Acá yo la pinté hace como mejor dicho, estaba empezando a pintar retratos, no tenía muchos conocimientos y ella me dio la oportunidad de poder retratarla y pues no salió tan bien, para confesarlo, ¿no? Entonces, esta es mi manera de reivindicarme también y decirle como, he aprendido a pintar.
So she says, like, the whole thing, she's been learning how to do portraits, and Cass was helping her do that. And so Cass was one of the first portraits she drew, and she said, in reality, it wasn't actually that good, but it's also a time for her to redeem herself and say, see, I can paint.
Yes, es como decir gracias por la confianza, ¿no?
Yeah, it's like saying thanks for, the trust.
Sí. Entonces,
Well, thank you so much, Natalia, for sharing with us all the experience behind that amazing piece that I think it's, I don't know how to describe it for the people. You should just come and check it out in Toi Poneke. You have the chance until the 22nd of April here in Toi Poneke Gallery. This is Here and Out, and for all of those that are joining us on Facebook Live, this is our second panel discussion that is called Digital Collabs. I was about to call it like the first one this morning. But this is Digital Collabs with Gina Kiel here in the studio with us, and Gleo all the way in Cali, Colombia. And now we are 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Okay, so we're gonna give some chance to the people that is watching this on Facebook to ask some questions. Is that all right? And with us today as well is Sarah Lee. She's helping us behind the scenes, taking the questions and checking that the Instagram live is going well. She's also managing, she's a manager of a really cool project that is called Common Space. Check it out on Instagram, it's really cool. And thanks everybody that is behind the scenes, making this looking really sharp and cool, and the sound and everything is like a big production behind. Thank you so much for that opportunity. We're gonna start with the Q&A whenever you're ready.
Cool. First question to ask you guys is there a piece of street art that you've encountered that lives in your mind that you think about often that inspires you?
Hay un arte, un mural o algo, street art, que piensas que se queda en tu mente, que no lo puedes olvidar.
Claro, los silos de Estados Unidos fueron 4.500 metros cuadrados de mucho aprendizaje. 4.500. Ese es el que no voy a poder olvidar.
Well, she said the sea wall and the sea.
No, the mural she painted in the
United States.
The biggest in the world.
Well, yeah, that one. She said she can't get that out of her mind.
It was like
4,500 meters.
No.
Sorry, Nati, what you were saying?
Casi muero, mi equipo casi muere. Tuvimos una adversidad gigante contra el invierno porque como buenos latinos no conocíamos el invierno y pintamos esto en el invierno. O sea,
she's like, we nearly died, I nearly died, my team nearly died. She's like, us Latin people don't know winter, and it was in winter when we painted it, like we did it. So
sí, una experiencia transformadora, pongámosle eso.
It was a transformative experience.
What about you, Gina? Is there any piece of artwork that it's in your head, yours or from anybody else, that really inspires you?
I think that's a tricky question because there's so many that it's like overwhelming. And right now I'm trying to think of one, and they're just like going all around, and it's so hard.
Like your piece in the show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and something I really find cool is, when you're just walking around the streets and you encounter those little details, the little things in the corners that you would not otherwise see, that always really inspires me. And then you come across a
huge mural, and it's just like overwhelming, and the scale is incredible. A favourite of Gleo's that I've seen, we have a mutual friend in Mexico who owns a gallery, Gamma, and that was the first mural of Gleo's I saw in person, and actually the only one I've seen in person. And she had a mural in the courtyard there, and it's kind of two faces with flowers, and it's amazing. And that one I just think of now because maybe we're talking to Gleo. And one of my own is I like the one I painted in Sydney because it's basically inside the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and I thought that was quite an interesting location. So it's like this big sort of warehouse collective space with shipping containers inside as studios, and I got to paint a big piece in there inside the bridge. So yeah, that was cool. Wow. That's a hard question, but a good question. And I can't wait to go and see so many more as soon as we can travel safely again and see so many more that I've seen online, I've seen them online and I want to see them in person, so yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about street art, that you see all the murals or pieces online.
Yeah.
So that's like it keeps going, it makes it still like growing and growing and growing, even though people needs to be inside.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And you can go and find them in person around the world. Yeah.
Yeah, and you, Gleo, do you have an artwork from another artist that you really admire that is in your head?
No, creo que prefiero el desapego. Como que intento ya dejarlas atrás porque, o sea, prefiero vivirlos en el momento, ¿no? Entonces, como que los dejo ahí, pero pues claro, el otro sí fue una experiencia un poco de todo. Entonces, ese sí es más difícil de procesar.
She said she likes to, see them in the moment. She feels a bit of detachment, just so she can have, I suppose, a lot more in her head. Yeah. So no, she doesn't really.
Again, hard question.
Hard, yeah.
So many.
Yeah.
Hard to remember just one, because they're all so cool.
Do you guys have any advice to girls who are just starting out in street art? Things that you wish you had known at the start that you know now in your journey?
Consejos que tú le darías a niñas, a mujeres que están empezando a pintar y en este camino de ser muralista o street artist.
I guess a great way to start is just to start doing it, even if it's just on your bedroom wall. Start creating paintings that are bigger than you can fit on a canvas, whether it's on the outside of your house, on the fence, on your bedroom wall, in your kitchen. Ask your neighbour, anything like that, to start having experience, start learning yourself through doing it, because that's kind of the only way. And I think partially because everybody has a different process, so you have to figure out how it works best for you. So just starting to do it in any way you can, and then documenting that. And also with larger scale works that are in public, people will see that you're doing that, and then you might get opportunities from it. So I think it's just a matter of just giving it a go. Find a little wall, not too big, not too small, something that's realistic for you, and give it a go. Yeah. And message me if you want specific question. If you've got any specific question, I'm happy to help.
Oh, thank you so much, Gina. That is so nice of you.
Sí.
¿Y tú, Natalia?
No,
¿Qué consejo le darías?
Creo que estoy de acuerdo con Gina. Es solo hacerlo y creer, siempre creer y solo hacerlo. Es como vivimos en un mundo en el que nos han enseñado como relegarnos, como a ceder nuestros espacios y en esos espacios cedemos lo que creemos. Y es como, no, hay que creer y solo hacerlo.
She said, I agree
Estoy de
with
acuerdo con Gina.
I agree with Gina. You know, you have to just do it. You have to believe in yourself. Just believe, have belief, self-belief, and just do it. Because we live in a society that we've got to just do it and believe.
Sí, totalmente de acuerdo.
I agree, absolutely.
I got a question for you actually that I haven't the chance to ask before. How it's been for you, Natalia, being a female Latin street artist in these like massive street art festivals in countries in which cultures are a little bit more, I don't know how to put it. Like, I think you know what I mean. Like, how has been your experience being a female Latin street artist, painting in huge murals in countries like, I don't know, Morocco, or like in European countries? Like, do you think it's the same being like a female in those situations that it is that being a male in the situations doing murals?
Es muy difícil porque justamente cuando salí a pintar a la calle, mi mamá me crió bajo como un pensamiento de que todos somos iguales. Entonces, cuando salí a pintar a la calle, realmente pensaba que tenía una condición de igualdad y de respeto.
So, my mum, she brought me up to know that we're all equal, and so when I started, I went out on the streets and I had this belief like we're all equal when I started.
Entonces primero salgo a la calle y me doy cuenta que no hay una igualdad de género y que siempre voy a estar siendo siempre voy a tener que ser fuerte y valiente para estar ahí afuera haciendo lo que amo.
And so when I went out on the streets, I realized there is actually no kind of gender equality in street art, and so I had to be brave and have strength to do what I want to do.
Entonces ahí conocí la primera categoría, soy mujer.
And then I found the first category of life, I'm a woman.
Y después salgo del país, salgo de Latinoamérica y encuentro que no solo soy mujer, sino que hay otra categoría y es que soy latinoamericana.
And so then when I leave Latin America and I start traveling, I realize that there's a second category and it's like I'm a Latin American woman.
Y por supuesto, eso depende de la perspectiva. Mi perspectiva es que realmente me siento muy afortunada de haber nacido mujer y me siento muy afortunada de haber nacido en Latinoamérica y de poder, ¿sabes?, pertenecer a esta cultura.
And so, and that, it's all about perspective too. And I feel so grateful to be a woman, and I'm so grateful to be from Latin America.
Y siento que no tengo absolutamente nada de que avergonzarme o que me ponga por debajo de alguien más.
And I have nothing at all to be ashamed about or that makes me lesser than anyone else.
Esa es mi perspectiva, pero la perspectiva de los otros es la categoría.
And that's my perspective, but the perspective of other people is are those categories.
Entonces, mientras un hombre pinta y lo felicitan por su trabajo, a mí me felicitan porque pinto como un hombre.
So where other people, say, congratulate a man for his work, I get congratulated because I paint like a man, my art.
Cuando pinto en grandes proyectos internacionales, puedo ver cómo artistas de otras regiones que no son Latinoamérica son considerados como maestros artistas y nosotros los latinoamericanos somos considerados artesanos.
And so when I go, outside of Latin America and paint internationally on these big projects, I see that these artists are considered masters in their art field, and where I am considered an artisan.
Like Latin American artist.
Yeah, Latin American artisan.
Y eso es el resultado de unas categorías de un pensamiento eurocentrista.
And so they're, you know, their thoughts and kind of ideas from a kind of central, like a selfish, central kind of ideas, central, selfish
I
way.
think, yeah.
Autocentrista.
No, Eurocentrista from Europe.
A European kind of thinking.
Yeah.
Yes, entonces pienso que es como siempre una confrontación a la categoría y a los preconceptos.
There's
O sea,
always,
ser mujer.
so there's always a
Sí,
confrontation. There's always that confrontation of these categories. Being a woman.
Cuando estaba más pequeña me lo tomé más personal y realmente sufrí mucho por este tipo de cosas, pero ahora que estoy aquí pienso que, bueno, entiendo perfectamente lo que es como yo sé lo que represento y sé exactamente de lo que no tengo que sentirme avergonzada y eso es el trabajo que hay que hacer afuera, hay que desconstruir un poco las categorías que existen sobre las divisiones de lo que somos como humanos. Todos al final somos iguales.
And so when I was younger, I got quite emotional. I was really, you know, didn't like it. But now that I'm, you know, older and I'm just like, you know, well, these are these categories that we actually don't have to conform to, you know. We're all human beings and that's what we are.
Y eso es ser una artista urbana mujer latinoamericana.
And that's being an urban woman, a female artist. Woo! Yeah.
Thank you so much for that perspective. I think it's a really constructive way of watching what's happening outside, and also for your work that even when there are those categories that shouldn't necessarily be there, they exist. You are like elevate them, you know. You're putting us in a really great spot, and thank you so much for that and your hard work.
Yeah.
Gracias a todas ustedes en realidad, porque yo, o sea, creo que después de este año se ha evidenciado exactamente eso, como cada una tiene como su superpoder y juntas podemos realmente crear estos espacios para que no sigamos cayendo en esas categorías, sino rompamos con esas categorías.
So thank you, everyone. You know, we all have, all of us, because of what we're doing, but we all have our superpowers. And, you know, together our superpowers are to not fall into those categories.
And create spaces together for, you know, with our own voices as well. Yeah.
Sí, este es el camino, creo.
Yeah, that's the way.
Thank you so much for such a beautiful, statement. Thank you. Do we have another question from the people in Facebook, or is there another?
It's 3:08. We can do one more.
Oh, are you comfortable with that? Yeah. Una pregunta más. Gleo, antes de terminar, ¿te parece?
Sí, está bien.
Bacana. Yeah.
What is something that you are currently learning or exploring in your work?
¿Qué es algo que estás en este momento explorando o aprendiendo en tu trabajo?
Gina, ¿quiere contestar primero?
Well, I think that is an ongoing thing that never stops. Constant learning and exploring new things. For me, right now, I think color palettes are something really important for me, just as a, you know, going into technical, the way I think, and just expanding into new color palettes is something I really want to do slowly. You know, you can't necessarily do it super quick, and suddenly it sometimes takes a little while to sort of change the calibration of your brain, maybe, to work with new colors. So that's something I'm always doing, and at the moment as well. And obviously, everything really. Everything's constantly changing and constantly learning. Each project, each painting, each wall there's always a new thing you have to learn. Every time there's different challenges, and themes, how to express how to portray themes and express themes in different ways. That's something I'm really interested in as well. Yeah, off the top of my head, that's right now, and then later I'm going to think of all these other things. I'm going to be like, oh, and that, and that, and that. But right now, that's what comes to mind. Yeah.
Gina.
Thank you.
What about you, Natalia? ¿Y qué de ti? ¿Qué es lo que estás aprendiendo?
Aprendiendo o explorando.
En tu trabajo.
En mi trabajo estoy aprendiendo a trabajar en equipo.
I'm learning how to work as a team.
No, pues exactamente por lo mismo, porque como son trabajos de colectividad, es como que hay una parte creativa, o sea, sí, soy el artista, tengo una autoría en ciertas cosas, pero eso al final es como solo un pequeño componente, ¿no? Entonces intentar como soltar, intentar que no sea como el centro de atención, sino solamente una parte que necesita ser, pues es difícil.
I'm learning how to work in a collective, and I might have some authority, but it's also we're working as a collective to be able to get this piece out. So yeah, I'm learning.
Sí. Creo que eso es. Ya, y estudiar.
And
Siempre estudiar, pintar y pintando.
Always studying, learning how to study and to paint. Yep.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you both for being with us, all of us for being with us today. There are like 10 people in this room today with us, and this was our second panel discussion of the day, Digital Collabs with Gina, Kiel, and Gleo in the TV.
Muchas gracias.
For all of you watching us on Facebook and Instagram, you can see the exhibition here and out until the 22nd of April here in Toi Poneke Gallery. Check it out. It's not because we did it, but it's really cool. Thank you.
Thank you.